Recently, I got the chance to visit Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. I had heard this park was great, but I honestly didn't see it. However, there was one coaster there that everyone seemed to rank extremely highly. That coaster was the Voyage, and while I may not have been expecting much from the park, my expectations were set quite high for this massive wooden coaster. It blew my expectations out of the water. This is my review of the Voyage at Holiday World. Let's begin by looking at the Voyage's past. It was designed and built by the Gravity Group, and surprisingly, it was their first ever coaster. To complete the task of designing the ride, the company actually received input from coaster enthusiasts, and the Voyage was even featured on 2 television shows.
The classic look and sound of the wooden roller coaster. It's still alive and kicking at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. This 1.2 miles of pure adrenaline is known as the Voyage, and it's been voted the #1 wooden coaster in the world by enthusiasts around the globe.
It opened in 2006 with the Thanksgiving section of Holiday World, since, holidays and all that jazz. Themed to the 1620 journey of the Pilgrims coming to North America, it originally had 3 7-car, 28-passenger trains. The first ride in any of the 28 seats was auctioned off on eBay, with the proceeds from the auction going to charity. However, after only 3 years of the original PTC trains running, Holiday World made the announcement that the Voyage would get new Timberliner trains in 2010. This modification was to be made to make the increasingly rough ride experience more bearable. As Holiday World awaited its brand new trains, it sold 2 of the 7-car trains to Darien Lake for their din wooden coaster known as Predator. Unfortunately, the Timberliners did not arrive in time for the 2010 season, which led Holiday World to make the decision to push the Raven down to 1 train, moving its other train to the Voyage. While the Timberliners were quickly becoming a success on coasters such as Wooden Warrior at Quasi and Twister at Groenland, Gravity Group decided to hold out and give the Voyage modified Timberliners for 2012. Through this time though, Raven was still on 1 train. This led Holiday World to purchase 5 PTC cars. With 2 spares, they were able to construct a 7-car train for the Voyage, allowing the other train to be returned to the Raven. In 2012, the Timberliners were finally sent for the Voyage, but due to a delivery delay, they did not have time to be properly tested, so the change was delayed yet again, this time to 2013. Since this change was taking so long, Holiday World made the decision to, along with normal track maintenance, retrack a large portion of the ride with the help of Gravity Group in the 2011 off-season. At last, in 2013, Holiday World gave up on the Timberliner project and instead decided to continue running PTC trains, which would go down to 6 cars per train in 2014. About the only theming you'll find with the Voyage is the station. It is divided into 3 levels, with the lowest of them being the cargo hold of the ship, the middle level the deck, and the loading platform the captain's quarters. When you get to the upper level, you will be directed to one of the 12 rows, even though there are 14 gates. This is because Holiday World never actually took out the gates that it used when the trains had 7 cars. When the gates open, you sit down in the rather comfy PTC trains. There is padding on all sides, which leads to an almost couch-like seat. There's an individual seatbelt for every rider, however, this seatbelt really doesn't do much and is only there for redundancy. Next, you will pull down the rather bulky PTC lap bar, which can staple you quite easily, so be careful. However, it also isn't too hard to get room, so that's a bonus, I guess. Once every restraint is locked and checked, you dispatch from the station. This is where the fun begins. You exit into a piece of transfer track before taking a small dip into the huge lift hill. From certain points in the park, this lift looks like a hyper, or in some cases, even a giga. It looks seriously massive, even though it's actually only 159 feet, 48.5 meters, tall. After the lift comes the drop. While it may not have the steepest angle by any means, you get whipped over the top of the lift and into the drop in the back row, leading to a great pop of ejector airtime. Unfortunately though, if you fail to hold up your restraint in the first valley, that will be your last moment of this airtime. After the surprisingly intense first valley, you pull back up into the first of 2 large airtime hills. While it may not look like much in POVs, this hill has a very tight crest and allows for some great ejector in the back row, at least on all of my back row rides. The next big hill has some slight curve to it, and the airtime is the same story as the first large hill. Following this is a turning speed hill that pops in and out of a tunnel and offers a quick pop of floater before the final hill of this sequence. This hill has the least airtime of the four, but dips back into a tunnel for your first turning moment. The following twisted airtime hill comes out of nowhere with the darkness of the tunnel, so you get flung all over the place. Coming out of it is a twisted double down of sorts that will again toss you everywhere. There's a quick breather with a wide bank turn before you get slammed straight back into an almost outer banked moment that has insane laterals and a nice quick pop of ejector. One more dip, this one unbanked, throws you into the first of the ride's 90-degree bank turns. This one is fun with some decent laterals, but nothing too insane. The turn right after is the same story. Fun, but nothing incredible. After the second 90-degree bank, you hit another twisted double down that again flings you everywhere with its laterals and airtime. This moment sends you into the fourth tunnel of the ride. When you pop up, you are met with a set of block brakes. These brakes take off probably anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour, depending on how fast your train is running, and they send you straight into your fifth tunnel that holds the triple down. The first down is pretty meh, as you hit it with little speed, so it lacks airtime. The second down has some solid floater, but the third is really where it throws you up with a good ejector airtime pop. After a small pop-up, you're back above ground. Wait, that tunnel went super far down, and we barely pop up to be above ground? Huh? This is possible because of the Voyage's terrain coaster nature. The whole ride sits on a hill, which means the entire return trip back to the station is all downhill, and you feel it. This second half hauls. You come up into an airtime hill with great ejector, and then hit another hill that's the same story. This leads you into a twisted floater hill before a turn into an airtime hill under the first large airtime hill. Following are a few quick, lateral-filled turns before a very fast and aggressive 90-degree bank turn. You then twist downwards, and this is where your photo is taken, so make sure to put your hands up for maximum cool factor. Next is yet another twisted airtime hill, again having great ejector. You then enter the sixth tunnel, and this one is going directly under the queue. This tunnel is loud. The train rips through it, and since it was raining through most of my visit, landed a huge drop of rain square on my eye. Yes, that did hurt. Quite a bit, in fact. Following this tunnel, you speed into the final twisted airtime hill, again with crazy lateral ejector. This sends you into a turn that goes under the entrance to Thanksgiving, into the seventh and final tunnel. To finish off the ride, you pop up and go through a sweeping upwards turn into the final brakes. Yes, that was a very long ride, yes, it feels that long, and no, it never lets up. The Voyage is truly insane. Every element has something great about it, and the whole ride is incredibly aggressive. It's a lot to take in, so you will want multiple rides, which is why I'm thankful that I was able to get 6. 4 in the back row, 1 in the second to back, and 1 in row 4. I didn't get to do the front, but that's just because I loved the back so much. It wasn't unbearably rough by any means, and it was pretty easy to lap by the end of the day, although the aggressiveness does slightly hinder its re-rideability. Either way though, the Voyage is ridiculously good. It is my number 1 coaster, and of course its final score is going to be a 10 out of 10. I can't think of anything to add to make this ride better. It's the only coaster that I've been on that I honestly consider perfect. If you ever have the chance to come out and ride it, do not hesitate. That's going to do it for this video. Before I go though, I would like to say a massive thank you for 1,000 subscribers. This is a huge milestone that I never actually thought I'd hit, so reaching it is super cool to me. Again, thanks. Like if you liked, yada yada yada, I'll see you next time.